Now, on the aluminum side, I would say in aluminum, and again, we talked about this last month, but Nick Webb loves charts. Looking at this chart here, I drew in this diagonal line, which the white diagonal line, which I would argue had been acting as support. You can see that every time the market got down to that level, bounced back off, it proved to be some support. Very, very recently, actually as recently as yesterday, the LME aluminum ingot price did dip below this line. So we are kind of at a crossroads. I would say that there are a lot of traders who are probably watching this line along with the other three lines that I've drawn on here, which are their gauges of momentum, the 50-day, the 100-day, and 200-day moving averages. All of them are kind of suggesting a similar thing, which is momentum in aluminum for now is relatively weak. I will caveat all of that by saying a lot of this weakness we've seen over the last 2 months makes perfect sense. We've had China in lockdown. If we revert back to that idea that China's lockdowns equated to 10% of global demand destruction, that should equate to lower prices. But we are currently in the process of potentially seeing China reopen, potentially re-stimulating their economy. This one's going to be one that I think we'll have to keep a very close eye on, not just in the coming months, but also in just a couple of days, because I think a lot of traders, a lot of people who go and hedge in these markets are going to be watching China very closely as it relates to this particular chart. Because if China comes back on full force and they're building a whole lot again and they're driving around, I would expect there to be some support in this market. Now, if they come out with a whimper, we could see this momentum trade continue to unwind. So again, I think we're currently right at a crossroads, and we're going to keep a close eye on this one to see where we head. But that being said, when we look at inventories alone, so this is exchange inventories summed up across the London Metal Exchange and the Shanghai Futures Exchange. This is going all the way back to 2003. You can see inventories on the exchanges have leaned out very, very heavily. So, and actually, even just in the last 24, 48 hours, you could probably Google search this. It's being discussed that some of the warehouses within China are not having as much inventory as what traders thought. So when traders are going to go pick up their physical ingots out of the exchange, they're finding that some of those units aren't actually there. I don't want to say that it's a fraud situation. I don't want to say that it's a mismanagement issue, but some of those headlines are beginning to raise some yellow flags, I would say, at this stage, because if people thought there was more metal in the exchanges than what there actually is, perhaps we have a tighter market than what was previously perceived. So again, not trying to